You've tried every productivity system out there, getting things done, time blocking, the Pomodoro technique. You've got the perfect planner and the right apps and color coded calendar. So, why do you still end most days feeling like you're running on a hamster wheel? Busy but not fulfilled. Well, here's the problem: you're trying to manage time instead of managing your emotional state. And your emotional state determines your productivity more than any system ever will. Hi, my name is Raju Panjwani, and today I want to share with you why your approach to productivity is backwards and what bold productivity actually looks like. Let me start with something most productivity gurus will not tell you. You cannot manage time. Time just is. What you can manage is your life, your energy, your emotional state. Most productivity systems focus on efficiency, how to get more done in less time. But efficiency without the right mindset is just being busy. What matters is being effective on the things that actually matter. Let me talk to you about three performance states. And here's what I've learned about productivity: your emotional state determines your results more than your strategy, your skills, your time management system. There are basically three states you operate from throughout the day. Number one, stuck states. Let me explain what that is. This is when you feel overwhelmed, defeated, burned out. Maybe you're dealing with guilt about past mistakes, shame about not being able to be further along, or just deep fatigue from pushing too hard for way too long. In these stuck states, everything feels impossibly difficult. Simple tasks take forever. You procrastinate, you avoid, you feel paralyzed. You might spend hours at your desk, but accomplish almost nothing meaningful. Number two, reactive states. This is when you're stressed, you're frustrated, angry, anxious. You have more energy than stuck states in the first case, but it's chaotic energy. You're busy, you're moving, but you're mostly just putting out fires all day. In reactive states, you might get a lot done, but it's usually crisis management. You're responding to whatever's loudest rather than focusing on what's the most important. You feel productive, but you're not necessarily making progress on what matters. Third, flow states. This is when you feel calm, focused, excited, and deeply engaged. You're energized but controlled. Work feels effortless. Solutions appear naturally, and time seems to disappear. In these flow states, you accomplish more in, let's say, 2 hours than you normally do in an entire day. The quality of your work is higher. You make better decisions, and everything just clicks. There is a line that separates the lower states from flow states. I call it the bold line. Below this line, stuck in those reactive states, you're living defensively. Life is happening to you. You're managing problems, avoiding risks, protecting what you already have. Above this line, in flow states, you're actually living creatively. Life is happening through you, for you. You're building, creating, taking calculated risks, focusing on possibilities. So the question isn't whether you'll face challenges or feel negative emotions. That's part of life. The question is, how quickly can you get back above that bold line? Most people spend their entire careers below this line and wondering why they feel stuck despite being so busy. See, Tony Robbins has said this famously: where your focus goes, energy flows. This is the foundation of bold productivity. Most people focus on problems, what's not working, what they're behind on, what might go wrong. So they stay stuck in reactive mode, constantly fighting fires. Productivity means consciously directing your focus toward what you want to create, not just what you want to avoid. When our team meetings focused on problems, for instance, cash flow issues, difficult clients, we always found more problems to discuss the next week. But when we shifted our focus to opportunities and solutions, we started to find more opportunities than we could pursue. Same team, same challenges, but a different focus, completely different results. Three types of bold productivity. Once you understand how emotional states affect your performance, there are three ways to consistently operate above the bold line. Number one, productivity through what I call divine support. It means aligning your work towards something larger than just your individual goals. When you connect it to a deeper purpose, you tap into motivation that doesn't run dry. This isn't waiting for inspiration or connecting your daily tasks to a larger meaning that energizes you rather than drains you. This isn't waiting for inspiration. It's connecting your daily tasks to a larger meaning that energizes you rather than drains you. Second is productivity through what I call self care. It means taking care of yourself so you can sustain high performance over time. High achievers, most of them, think self care is selfish, but you can only give from a full cup, my friend. When you manage your physical energy, emotional state, mental clarity, you show up differently for everything else. You make better decisions, you handle stress without burning out, and maintain those flow states much longer. Productivity through service is the third. It means approaching your work from a service mindset. When you focus on how you can help others rather than just what you can get, you tap into a different motivation. True fulfillment comes from contribution, my friend, not just achievement. And when you're fulfilled by your work, you naturally perform at a higher level. Most productivity systems are built around to do lists, tasks to complete, boxes to check, goals to achieve. Nothing wrong with all that, by the way. But this creates what I call a to do list living, constantly doing, but never really being present or intentional. Bold productivity means shifting what do I need to do or get done today to what state do I want to operate from today? What impact do I want to have? When you start from the right emotional state, the right actions just flow naturally. When you start from just a list of tasks, you often end up in a reactive role, just checking boxes, perhaps without really creating real value. Well, here's how this looks practically on a daily basis. Instead of starting my day with my task list, I start with a state check. What emotional state am I in right now? If I'm below that bold line, feeling overwhelmed or reactive, which I do sometimes, what do I need to get above it? Sometimes it's as simple as taking 3 deep breaths, as I often tell my clients. Maybe it's taking a short walk or having a cup of coffee in silence. Sometimes it's reminding myself why this work I do matter. The key is managing your state first, then letting your productivity flow from that state. The biggest productivity killers aren't distractions or poor time management. They're emotional exhaustion. When you're just running on empty emotionally, everything seems to take more energy than it should. Two, lack of purpose. When you don't know why work matters to you, it's really hard to stay motivated, isn't it? Third, perfectionism. When you're afraid to make mistakes, you avoid taking action or spend too much time on tasks that don't need to be perfect. And fourthly, comparison. When you're focused on what others are doing instead of your own path, you waste energy on things that are completely outside your control. All of these keep you below the bold line, stuck in reactive or stuck states. Let's talk about some practical steps to overcome this, okay? Throughout the day, if you can pause and ask, what state am I in right now? Am I stuck? Am I reactive? Or am I in flow? If you're not in flow, what would it take for you to get there? Sometimes it's changing your environment. Sometimes it's clarifying why this task matters. Sometimes it's just taking a few deep breaths, yes. So 3 productivity questions. Before starting anything significant, any kind of significant work, ask, 1, how does this connect to something that matters to me? I call it, of course, purpose. How does this connect to something that matters to me? 2, what do I need to show up as my best? Self-care, that is. 3, how does this serve others? That's your service mindset. Once a week, review your state patterns. When do you feel most productive and engaged this week? Once a week, review your state patterns. When do you Or did you feel most productive and engaged this week? What emotional state were you in during those times? What conditions actually supported that state? And how can you create more of those situations or conditions? Bold productivity is not about doing more things, my friend. It's about doing the right things from the right emotional state for the right reasons. When you focus on managing your state instead of just managing your time, everything changes. You accomplish more with less effort because you're working with your natural rhythms instead of fighting against them. You feel more fulfilled because your work is connected to something meaningful. And if you create better results because you're operating from those flow states instead of those stuck states, just grinding through tasks. The most productive people I know aren't the busiest. They're the ones who understand how to consistently get above the bold line and stay there. If what I've said and shared with you today resonates and you're ready to shift from external pressure to internal alignment in how you approach your work, check out our course called Purpose Over Pressure. The details are in this link and the show notes. Next week, we'll talk about unity consciousness, moving from feeling like you have to figure everything out by yourself to recognize the support that's already around you. Until then, pay attention to your emotional states, my friend, throughout the day. Notice when you're stuck, reactive, or in flow, and practice getting back above that bold line. Until then, this is Raju. Stay bold, stay conscious.